Hey guys, Phil here, and I'm ready to talk about TH3, if any of you are. I haven't seen very many things going on with TH3 as a whole. I haven't seen a lot of advertisements for it. I haven't seen anybody really do a playthrough of the Metal Pack or Rock Pack since it came out. So I figured I could help today by talking about the Metal Pack that was sold. I got it for $50 over Christmas. It really wasn't much of an investment, but boy, is it good. I actually love this Metal Pack so far. I'm going to see if I can go through every amp with the recommended amp that, with the recommended cab that it comes with, and hopefully we can get a decent amount of playthrough. I'm using a really cheap Dean guitar with humbuckers. So, let's see, how brutal is the Metal Pack? How about some variety? And what all can you do with it? Now, first I have this gate expander right here with the release time set really low, with the expansion set to a really deep level of expansion and ratio about the halfway point, and the gate starts at about 60 dB. So I'm running it into this licensed Brunetti amplifier, which I've never played one of these in real life, but if you listen, it's got this really fat mid-rangey tone, and as you adjust the edge button right here, it's a little switch that you can click to raise it, it really gives it some more crack. Notice there's a lot of good tube dynamics here. I have the gain set pretty high and the volume just about as high. Now if I'm to adjust the controls for the treble, for example, listen to how quickly it reacts. It's now at 6 o'clock. Noticeably more crunch and jaunt in the high end. That really glassy tone of striking a string that you expect from a real amp is all here. You get some sweet harmonics in that top end. Now the mids don't feel boxy, they feel like they've got a decent amount of push to them. Just drive in air, that's all. And the bass really fattens up that tone. But if you want to play it in black metal mode, you could always just give it that really gnarly cranked sound. And you've got a boost switch right here that allows you to, you know, boost. So you get like a lead channel thing going on, as if the rest of this amp is in the rhythm channel, which it's a channel 2 based on an EL34 tube amp. Gross, let's put some of those mids back in there. I don't play a lot of black metal. There's a lot of sweet breakup there. Now, if you'll notice, the amp that it wants to pair with the cab, when you choose the amp, it'll ask you if you want to pair it with a cab, and it, by default, will ask you if you want to pair it with the 4x12 Brunetti Custom, which, same company, and it's supposedly the amp that comes with the head if you want to buy it as a pair. So, you'll notice you have some options here. You've got a high-pass filter, engage it really just cuts out a lot of those muddy low-end frequencies that don't really come from the fundamental of the note. Not a lot of guitars, with the exception of the really deep contra guitars, the baritone guitars, things like that, will even have a low-end frequency below where this cutoff is. And you've got a low pass to make it sound less digital, more like it's coming from a cab that you'd expect, not necessarily a modeled cab. You hear a lot of that harshness disappears. And you've got a decent selection of microphones to choose from condensers to dynamics, and a ribbon or two. You have ambiance choices like a closet, a dead room, a heavily carpeted room, and, of course, a live room. And a wooden room. So besides that, you can also blend mics. Move them around. Anywhere on the amp. That's a pretty cool feature. Even to the middle of the amp. Almost as if you don't want to hear the speakers at all, you just want to hear the sound of the amplifier. Almost as if it's in the background, or like in the back of the amp, but not quite. Because you also have the rear mic, which does exactly as advertised. It's a mic from the actual back of the cab. Which can be used for a really cool effect, but I don't know how often I'll be using it. So, the other choices for amps that come with the Metal Pack, and this is exclusively the Metal Pack here, are the Burn Sphere clean and lead channels, which Burn Sphere basically is an angle fireball. Shh, don't tell anybody. And the cab that would come with would be the England, because they share the same logo, in case you didn't notice. That England company always making those sweet amps. Now keep in mind, this is the clean amp, so you get some breakup right out of the box with that gain cranked. You get some really sweet tones there, and you crank that presence knob on this amp in particular, and change the bright tube setting, and you get super jangly tone. But because it's the Metal Pack, I'm sure most people are expecting the lead version of this amp, which of gain on tap here. You got a bottom knob, you got a bright channel, you got anything you want from an angle, basically. So, moving on, you've got the 5150, which you're going to want to use with the 5150 cab, or it will assume you want to use with the 5150 cab by default. And this is just the rhythm channel, which I don't think it's the rhythm channel as much as I think it's the green channel of the original 5150 with the crunch button engaged. Definitely have some of that lower end crunch, but even when you crank the gain, it doesn't give nearly as much as I'd expect from the crunch channel of the 5150, or with other amp sims like Revolver and what they have to give when they emulate a 5150. As most of you are probably used to hearing a 57 against a 5150, you get what you would expect from that kind of tone. It's about as dark as I'd expect it to be, but it's not nearly as gainy as I'd expect it to be. So that's, you know, give or take whatever you're looking for. The lead channel, on the other hand, got this sick, gnarly low-end crunch that you would definitely expect from a tube amp. But, again, does it sound like a 5150? I can't be entirely sure. I've played a lot of 5150s, a lot of 5150 knockoffs, and I'm not sure how well that delivers. But you've got this lovely Marcus II lead, which is definitely based off of a Mesa Boogie 2. The lead channel of it. With a bright switch, a treble shift, a bass shift, and a deep knob. The deep knob makes a lot of difference if you're looking for a growl. This is definitely more of a blues crunch amp, but you can definitely get some sweet gain out of this. So, all in all, pretty nice amp, but I personally think it pales in comparison for high gain riffing to its older brother, the modern Channel 3, which is definitely based off of one of the rectifiers in the Mesa series. And by default, with Raw, this is a sweet, chunky tone. Crank those mids, crank a little bit of that treble, give it some presence, and you get a bitey in-your-face tone. All those harmonics, and you can switch to a vintage voicing. Or a modern voicing. However, that's pretty standard fare for what most people have. So here's what sets it apart. What you've got with TH3 is, in the Metal Pack at least, it comes with the Overloud Prog amp head, which is based off of basically their own custom head. So for proggier stuff, this has a much cleaner, tighter gain sound. Even when you crank it, you've got a lot of voice as opposed to a lot of high gain sound. Which definitely works if you're playing prog. And you've also got a whole bunch of exclusive Randalls. So the Metal Pack only comes with the Ultra XL channel of the Lynch box, but I can't really complain because it's a really nice channel, and you get a lot of tone out of this baby. Now, if you're wondering, gee, how do they get so much gain? I don't know. But almost no matter where you put the gain knob, you can get a super sweet amount of gain from this head. It's very responsive as far as amp sims go to rolling back the volume. And what's more, black metal mode. what's great is, just like a lot of PV amps, you get the presence and the density controls, which, as opposed to resonance, which they call it on a PV amp, you get, you know, density, which does the same thing. And the Lynch box should realistically be paired with the Lynch Cab, but I think it's a little bright, because I like to crank that treble and get an amp matched with a cab that, you know, is a darker cab, so I can crank the brighter parts of the head, and that's just me. That's my emotional state. Flip the bright switch, you get a lot of difference. So, one more thing that makes this in particular special over the other amp sims that are out there is that you get basically this Randall T2, which, amazing high gain head. If you've ever played it, highly recommend the chains. And these licensed Randall cabs, which are okay. The 212 is nice for cleans, but I always love a good 412. And since this is the clean channel, you can get a sweet array of crunchy or clean tones. This really broken up, overdriven clean tone. You can really push it. And it's got this depth with the density knob that's really hard to beat with any other kind of amp. You crank the bass and you crank the density. It's like it's right up there against your butt, pushing it out. So, you got a sweepable mid. And a nice pairing of Randall cabs that are also available for your pleasure. Now, one thing that I will say is that once you get into the boosted channel, it goes nuts. It's instantly fat and overdriven to a level that I can't quite get enough of. Still get that gnarly breakup. Of the way to the first notch of where it would be on the amp. This is incredible. This is no gain on the amp. That's massive. I don't even know how that's possible. And of course, you get a basic Marshall emulation here of the JCM 900, which does a passable job of being a Marshall. But of course, you're going to want to pair it with something a little bit more British, like this M Green, for example. Without any drive, you just get this little jangly sound. It's kind of cute. I could see you using that for an effect. And the quicker you turn up the drive, the more ridiculous it gets. You've got these nice in-betweens, which give really good rock tones, I think. All in all, some really nice tube dynamics. But if you really want to step up your game, and like I would do with almost all of my amp sims anyway, I usually ignore the built-in impulses, but I kind of dig the, for example, the high watt cabs and the Randall cabs, because there's really not many other places I can get that. But put in this amazing impulse response of the pulse cab, and suddenly everything sounds so much more alive. Keep in mind, this is a free impulse response from Rosen Digital. And the same applies to literally almost every amp in this entire sim. You suddenly really feel that booty from the bass. Oh man, that's too much amp for this. Really, the Randall sims blow me away. And realistically, that's usually what people buy the TH3 and the Overloud's thing for, is because they have so many Randall sims. They have the Brunetti sim. Oh, gotta crank that bass, give me some body. But I gotta give it to them. Their custom sim is... I'm really digging the Overloud prog, especially for lead things. When I switch the pickup and go up to the more... into some of that more expressive playing. And what helps the most with that is that they have a really nice sounding digital delay with a lot of features, including the ability to assign, with the click of this little dot here, and that took me a while to figure out, to sync with the tempo of the host. and you go to this master channel, you can pretty much set sensitivity to high. Now, I've had it on low for the sake of this demonstration, but it's still really been responsive to the dynamics of my playing. You crank that delay level. Get some stereos panning in there. Oh yeah. Let me enable that. Oh yeah, there's the stereo effect. That's some sweet delay. And this is a little high-end, a little too present for me. If I just want to give it some of that mid-boost, give it a little bit of sweet backing off with that fatness. Overall, you've got some sweet things that come with the suite, and I think it's really worth the $50 I paid for it. Maybe even a little more than that. If you've never had a really good amp sim like this before, it's definitely worth a shot to get either the rock or the metal pack based on what you want. Haven't had a chance to try out the rock pack yet, but from what I've heard from other people and people that have actually used it on things that I've worked with them on, it sounds really nice. I love that delay. That delay is almost worth the whole bundle itself. It's like a waves delay, but in my opinion, it sounds real sweet on guitar. Alright, so that's about it. I'm probably going to work with Amplitude next, probably the orange pack or something like that. Just because I've heard a lot of discussions about Amplitude and TH3 not being useful, and as antiquated as some of the amps themselves are, and some of these are, I believe, left over from TH1 back when they started, Overloud has a really nice sounding amp that they themselves made. And all these Randall licensed ones are awesome. I like their Mesa stuff. It really does stack up against things like Kazrog's Thermionic, which, my favorite amp sim. And that Brunetti Mercury, I need to... it's worth it just for this, to restart that again. Because listen to this. It's super boutiquey. Especially when I'm switching pickups for that. The dynamics and the clarity and the fatness, that pick response. It's beautiful, guys. I don't know what else to say. I love the metal pack of TH3. Go out, give yourself a gift, if you will, and definitely make the purchase. I think it's worth it, and you'll find yourself probably blown away. It's a little confusing at first, but once you get used to the UI and how everything works, you get some nice tones. And I haven't even used the overdrive in this video. A lot of those heavy, high-gain sounds with all that punch and clarity didn't even use a tube screamer, which is what this Tube 9 is based off of. So thanks, guys. Like it if you want to, but definitely try TH3. Bye.